You stand at the threshold of a grand design where every thought you hold, every action you take becomes a brick in the cathedral of your own confidence. Imagine for a moment that your life's journey is not a winding, aimless road, but rather the construction site of a magnificent structure, one you alone have the power to build, to shape, and to transform. In this instant, the blueprints rest in your hands, and the architect's compass points steadily toward one vision, a soaring edifice of unshakable self-belief rising from the solid ground of your values and aspirations. Feel the weight of possibility settle into your bones. This is not a dream you hope for, this is the life you will create. Every pillar of your confidence begins with a single decision to recognize that you are both the designer and the builder of your inner world. You have surveyed the terrain of your fears, noted the gaps in your self-assurance, and now you can draft the plans that will guide each step forward. No longer will you wait for permission to claim your power. No longer will you doubt the materials at your disposal. Strength, resilience, creativity, purpose, all lie within you, waiting to be shaped into something enduring. You are the architect of your own confidence. This idea holds the truth that no one else is responsible for your sense of worth, your belief in yourself, or the strength of your inner voice. The structure of your confidence is not gifted to you by external validation, applause, or approval. It is built day by day, decision by decision, through the choices you make about how you see yourself and what you believe you're capable of. Like an architect standing before an empty plot of land, you look at the raw space of your potential and begin to design. You imagine something bold, something beautiful, something resilient. The blueprint doesn't arrive fully formed. It comes from within, shaped by your desires, your values, your vision for who you want to become. You sketch the first lines with courage. You choose the foundation with intention. You pick up the tools with a quiet determination that this structure, your confidence, will not be fragile or temporary, but timeless and strong. In this role as your own architect, you begin to understand that confidence is not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about grounding yourself in the truth of who you are and committing to the process of becoming more. It's acknowledging where the soil is soft, where the walls need reinforcement, where you must pause and refine your approach. It's taking responsibility for how you speak to yourself, what you allow into your mind, and how you respond to the setbacks that inevitably come. You are not waiting for someone to hand you the blueprints. You are not depending on luck to build the structure for you. You are creating every inch of it with purpose. This perspective is powerful because it shifts you from a passive role to an empowered one. Instead of asking for permission to be confident, you give yourself authority. You realize that each act of courage, each refusal to let fear win, each moment of showing up for yourself adds a new beam, a new level, a new room to the house of your self-belief. There will be moments when it feels like the structure is too heavy or the tools too unfamiliar, but that's part of every great design process. You will revise, adapt, and grow. The structure might look different than you first imagined, but it will be yours, authentic, earned, built from within. When you embrace the identity of the architect, you stop looking outside for validation and start looking inward for direction. You find your confidence not in perfection, but in progress, not in approval, but in alignment. You learn to trust your instincts, to measure your success by your effort and growth, and to celebrate the strength it takes to keep building even when the world isn't watching. This is your project. This is your masterpiece. You are the one with the vision, the tools, and the courage to see it through. Confidence, after all, is not found. It is constructed by you, for you, one intentional choice at a time. Self-belief is the foundational beam that holds up everything else in your journey toward lasting confidence. Without it, the structure collapses. Without it, every achievement feels hollow and every step forward is clouded by uncertainty. But with it firm, unshakable, deeply rooted, you gain a strength that carries you through both triumph and adversity. Self-belief is not a wish or a fleeting feeling. It is a decision to stand with yourself no matter what. It is the quiet conviction that even when you stumble, even when you're misunderstood, even when the outcome is unclear, you still possess something powerful within. It becomes the grounding force that stabilizes you when life shakes your balance. Every time you affirm your worth, every time you remind yourself that you are capable and valuable regardless of circumstances, you strengthen that foundational beam. This kind of belief isn't built overnight. It comes from experience, from showing up consistently, from choosing to trust your voice when doubt tries to drown it out. It grows each time you stretch beyond what feels safe and take action aligned with who you want to be. It becomes sturdier when you push through resistance, speak up when silence would be easier, or follow through on a promise you made to yourself. Every time you honor your own journey, your belief in yourself deepens. You stop measuring your value by external feedback and start feeling it as something internal, immovable, always accessible. And when that inner beam is firm, you're able to face setbacks without losing your footing because you know your worth isn't tied to temporary outcomes. What's powerful about this foundational self-belief is that it affects everything else in your life. The way you walk into a room, the way you approach new opportunities, the way you navigate relationships all shift when you carry a deep internal sense that you are enough. People notice it not because you say it loudly, but because you embody it quietly. Confidence isn't a show, it's a presence. And that presence comes from self-belief that cannot be faked. It's not ego. It's not arrogance. It's a calm, clear knowing that you belong, that you matter, and that you are more than capable of meeting what comes. And when challenges come, and they always will, that beam of self-belief becomes your anchor. You'll still feel fear, but it won't control you. You'll still make mistakes, but they won't define you. You'll still be tested, but you won't be broken. Because at the core of who you are, you've laid something strong. That inner structure, invisible to others but vital to you, will keep rising no matter the pressure. You will build upon it floor by floor, layer by layer, and it will hold, it will carry you. And it will remind you in every moment of doubt that you are worthy of everything you dream of, not because the world said so, but because you decided to believe it first. Daily habits are the scaffolding that supports the rise of your confidence, giving it structure, consistency, and direction. Confidence doesn't emerge all at once in a burst of inspiration. It's constructed quietly in the choices you make every single day. It's built in the unseen moments when you decide to believe in yourself, speak to yourself with kindness, and show up even when no one is watching. These habits become the invisible framework holding your growth in place, making sure that each step you take rests on something stable. Without daily habits, confidence becomes unstable, reliant on mood, circumstance, or fleeting motivation. But with them, your progress becomes steady and dependable, inching upward with strength and precision. The beauty of these daily habits is that they don't have to be grand or complicated. It can be as simple as starting the morning with an affirmation that reminds you of your worth, or writing down 3 things you're proud of before you sleep. It can be taking a few quiet minutes each day to visualize your future self walking in complete self-assurance. These seemingly small rituals compound over time, building mental and emotional muscles that keep your confidence standing tall. Like any great structure, repetition and attention to detail matter. The more you repeat these habits, the more familiar they become. And soon, they're not just something you do, they're part of who you are. Consistency is what turns effort into identity. When you consistently choose habits that reinforce belief in yourself, your brain begins to see confidence not as a distant goal, but as your natural state. You become someone who acts in alignment with strength, clarity, and self-respect, not occasionally, but repeatedly. That repetition wires new beliefs into your nervous system, making them automatic. And when confidence becomes part of your automatic responses, your decisions change. Your energy shifts. You no longer hesitate when opportunity knocks. You don't shrink when fear whispers, because you've trained yourself to rise. These habits also create proof for your mind. Every time you follow through, even on a small promise to yourself, you're sending a message that you can be trusted. That trust becomes the fuel that propels you forward. And even when the world is unpredictable, you have a rhythm that centers you, a routine that holds you, a structure that won't fall apart when doubt tries to shake it. Over time, this scaffolding grows stronger, allowing you to take on bigger challenges and stretch into bolder versions of yourself. Confidence built on habits isn't fragile, it's resilient. It can weather criticism, setbacks, and failure because it wasn't built in one moment of hype. It was crafted through deliberate practice. And that's the secret. Confidence doesn't just appear. It's rehearsed, it's reinforced. It's layered one decision at a time until it surrounds you like scaffolding, holding up the best version of you. Every day with every habit, you rise a little higher. And soon what felt like scaffolding becomes the very architecture of who you are becoming. Self-awareness, self-compassion, and self-discipline are the essential materials in the architecture of lasting confidence. They are not accessories to the process. They are the very elements that give strength, flexibility, and integrity to your inner structure. Without self-awareness, you cannot understand the landscape you're building on. Without self-compassion, your progress becomes fragile, easily shattered by criticism or mistakes. And without self-discipline, even the best vision will remain unrealized. These three qualities work together, each reinforcing the others, each contributing something vital to the construction of who you are becoming. Self-awareness is your compass. It helps you understand not only your strengths, but also your patterns, your insecurities, your fears. It's not just about knowing what you're good at. It's about being honest about where you sabotage yourself, where you hesitate, where you overcompensate. It invites you to look in the mirror without judgment and simply notice. When you are aware, you can make conscious choices instead of running on default. You can redirect your energy away from fear and into creation. You can stop reacting and start responding. Self-awareness allows you to build your confidence on truth, not illusion. It helps you see where the foundation is cracked and gives you the chance to reinforce it with something stronger. But awareness alone is not enough. That's where self-compassion comes in. Because once you begin to see yourself clearly, you will notice the places where you've fallen short, made mistakes, or lived in fear. It's tempting to meet those realizations with shame or harshness, but that only weakens your foundation. Confidence cannot thrive in self-hate. Instead, self-compassion allows you to acknowledge your humanity without condemning yourself for it. It gives you the grace to grow without fear of being torn down from within. You begin to treat yourself as you would a student or a friend, encouraging, honest, and supportive. This kindness doesn't make you soft, it makes you resilient. When you believe you are worthy of care even when you struggle, you stop hiding from yourself, and in that space, real transformation begins. Then comes self-discipline, the force that takes all the insight and intention you've gathered and transforms it into action. Discipline is the bricklayer that shows up every day, laying down new pathways, reinforcing strong habits, and keeping the vision alive. It's what helps you keep building when motivation fades. It's what separates a fleeting idea from a lasting structure. Discipline is not about punishment, it's about devotion. It's the daily act of choosing your highest self even when it's hard. It's showing up to do the work not for perfection but for alignment with who you want to become. Together, these three create the inner architecture of confidence. Awareness gives you clarity, compassion gives you courage, and discipline gives you momentum. When they work in harmony, they create a structure that can support bold goals, withstand doubt, and expand endlessly. They form a core that does not crack under pressure but adapts, strengthens, and rises higher with every challenge. They are not temporary fixes, they are the essential tools of the architect you are becoming. Bold action builds the windows to your potential. Without taking action, confidence remains a concept, an idea trapped in theory rather than lived in reality. You can plan, visualize, and prepare endlessly, but until you act, your confidence has no place to take root and grow. Action is the moment when everything shifts from the inside out. It's the moment you step into the unknown, challenge your comfort zone, and create new evidence of what you're capable of. Bold action is what allows you to test your structure and realize that it can hold. It's what reveals your strength not as a wish, but as a lived truth. Every time you do something that stretches you, whether it's speaking up in a room, applying for something you feel unqualified for, or saying yes to an opportunity that scares you, you place a window into your inner structure. Through that window, light floods in. It illuminates the truth that you are capable, that fear doesn't have the final word, and that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward anyway. With each act of bravery, no matter how small, your perspective widens. You begin to see a version of yourself you didn't know existed before, one who dares, one who creates, one who grows stronger with every risk taken. Bold action doesn't have to be reckless or grand. It simply needs to be honest. It's the decision to choose progress over perfection, movement over stagnation. It's making that call, starting that project, setting that boundary. It's facing what you once avoided and discovering that it didn't break you. In fact, it built you. That's the beauty of action. It transforms fear into momentum. It turns hesitation into power. And even when the outcome isn't what you hoped, you still win. Because the act of doing the thing gives you something no thought ever could. Proof that you're capable of facing discomfort. Proof that you can survive failure. Proof that you're stronger than you thought. These actions become turning points in your personal story. They become the moments you remember later when fear creeps back in. You'll look through the windows you've installed, those bold decisions you made, and see the light of your own courage reflecting back. You'll remember what you've already done, and that memory will give you strength to take the next step, Confidence builds through repetition, and every bold move you make becomes a blueprint for the next one. Over time, these windows allow more light in. You stop seeing yourself as someone limited by fear and start seeing yourself as someone guided by purpose. The view expands. Your vision for what's possible grows. And the more you act, the clearer your inner landscape becomes. Through action, you don't just express confidence, you build it. Brick by brick, window by window, you create a structure filled with light, courage, and undeniable evidence that you are someone who shows up, dares greatly, and lives fully. Confidence is a living structure that evolves over time, never fixed, never finished, always expanding with every experience. It is not something you achieve once and then possess forever. It grows as you grow, adapts as you adapt, and changes shape as your dreams and circumstances shift. Just like a building that is added to, renovated, and improved, your confidence must be maintained, strengthened, and sometimes rebuilt. This realization is powerful because it frees you from the pressure of perfection. You no longer have to fear the days when your confidence feels shaky or uncertain, because you understand that it's part of the process. Growth is not linear, and neither is confidence. It breathes, moves, and deepens with each chapter of your life. What makes this living structure remarkable is that it holds the imprint of your journey. Every challenge you faced, every setback you overcame, every quiet victory you earned, it all becomes part of the architecture. The cracks don't weaken it, they tell a story. They remind you that you've weathered storms before and can do it again. Confidence built this way isn't dependent on temporary success or constant validation. It's rooted in resilience, grounded in your ability to rise again and again. And because it evolves, it never becomes stale or rigid. It remains aligned with who you are now, not who you were yesterday, not who you're expected to be, but who you're becoming. As you move forward in life, your dreams will stretch. Your goals will grow. The things that once scared you will become your new baseline, and you'll find yourself standing at the edge of new heights, new challenges, new fears. That's the sign that your confidence is alive. It urges you forward. It doesn't trap you in old definitions of success. It invites you to expand. With every new layer of life, you get to reinforce your structure. You get to adjust the design. You get to add new tools and new stories to the framework. And this evolving nature ensures that your confidence will always meet you where you are. Because confidence is alive, it's also contagious. When others see you navigating life with self-trust, even when you're uncertain, they're inspired to do the same. Your growth becomes a beacon. Your authenticity gives permission. And without even trying, your journey becomes a model of what's possible for others. You're not just building for yourself anymore, you're lighting the way. Every time you choose to evolve rather than shrink, adapt rather than collapse, stretch rather than settle, you breathe new life into your structure and the lives of those around you. The beauty of knowing your confidence is a living thing is that you never feel stuck. You always have the power to renovate, to build anew, to rise again. No matter how far you've fallen or how long you've stood still, you can return to the blueprint, pick up your tools, and begin again. Because the confidence architect in you never retires. It only evolves, and with every evolution, your life becomes a greater, more expansive masterpiece.